shall we say, for piracy off the coast of West Africa. It's primarily fuel theft and fuel smuggling. There is now starting to be some kidnapping for ransom because they're looking across the continent and seeing that that's been fairly lucrative for Somali pirates. There are some other differences. There's more organization and more capability in West Africa, partly private industry because of the oil industry that's there, but also the governments have been working together longer. So the model that everybody holds up is in Asia, with regard, primarily funded by Japanese money to develop. There's a treaty, the RECAP treaty, that involves actually now 16 countries that cooperate, and they operate an information sharing center to try to coordinate and deconflict their efforts. That has been imported into East Africa, but it's been having to be imported wholesale. That is, that there was no capability at all, and the information sharing center, there's 3 of them in East Africa. The last one has just come online. West Africa was already ahead of the game in that respect because of MALCA, the Maritime Organization of West and Central Africa, which has more than 20 countries, and that organization had atrophied somewhat. It's fairly old, 30 years or so, but in the last 5 or 6 years, it's been resurrected. And so that's what I would say, is that they're still ahead of the game. The problem is not as great in West Africa, and they have greater resources and organization to be able to address it.
Question over here.
Hi, Mark Nance and Commander Kraska. Nice to meet you in person, actually. But I had a couple of comments. One is I'm curious whether, talking about international standards, from North Carolina State University, whether Interpol has started to develop standards specifically addressing the gentleman from the FBI's concerns about what counts as legitimate evidence for piracy, for maritime piracy. And I'm just wondering, either from the FBI's perspective or from the Navy's perspective, whether the U.S. government is cooperating in the establishment of the development of those standards, or whether we're sort of unaware of that or not participating in it. And then the other, to the viability of the private security contracting solution to maritime piracy in general, whether the next generation of ships, the profit margin on shipping is just razor thin, and that's expected to go down. And of course, there are real problems with the increased costs of private security contractors that come along with that as well. And it doesn't seem viable to me.
Yeah. Thank you very much.